base of the spine, there is something called Kundalini, and some people call it Shakti. But when it's actually at the base of the spine, in your body, it's the Kundalini. It's like the blood force, the lifeblood of the eternal, of the divine dimensions. And this is a great planet and a great place to be. There are so many different astral planes and heaven planes and different things. This is one of the most perfect bodies that has been created to awaken, for God to co-create with us. And I won't go back into Atlantis and all the different things that I've had downloads about, and angels and the things that you think is mythology when it's really not. Because this is all mythology, actually. It's all a dream. But then you have, running along your spine, you have this ethereal body. Of course, everyone knows that. But you also have this tube that is absolutely blocked. It's called the Sushumna. And it runs from the bottom chakra right through to the middle, because the actual third eye is actually in the middle of the brain, to all the chakras. And what happens is when a teacher transmits light, well, the Buddhas call it Shakti, because that energy, it's like little bubbles that are too tiny for any scientist to find, but when you awaken, you can see them. They're vibrating. It's like they're scrubbing. They're scrubbing as fast as they can. The Shakti is sent really to the brain. That's why people usually feel it there first, or they'll feel it in their heart chakra. And to their divine dimension. The divine dimension isn't in your body. You're omnipresent. But your divine presence, if you want to look at it like that, it is in every cell of your body, that intelligence, in actual fact. But you have to have, so then that Shakti that's sent to you and connects you to your diamond, when you can't feel it, having a light transmission connects you to your diamond. Well, then what happens is that entices the Kundalini to vibrate up the Sushumna. And that's why when people do chakra meditation, they meditate on a chakra, but the heart chakra is actually along the spine, there, opposite. It's right there, but you sort of feel it here first. But I always recommend to people to never meditate on the lower chakras. And what we can do, if you would like, you can, there's so many videos that I've done, and one is on the practice of meditation, and I'll go much deeper into it. But that is the Kundalini, and eventually what happens is, you know how Jesus talked about a mustard seed? When that's interpreted correctly, when you experience it yourself, it's the third eye, like the rich man can't go through the mustard seed because it's smaller than, That's not exactly what he meant. He meant people that are logged into the Maya with attachment. Because of course, like Mother Meera, beautiful enlightened lady from India, says, the divine wants you to have everything that will bring you happiness. Everything. There are no limitations. It's not naughty to have money or egotistical. It's just, you can create anything in your life as long as you don't have attachment. As long as you don't care about what other people think. As long as you're not buying something just to impress people. Now, if you're a real estate agent, of course, you want to have a beautiful car because you need to impress people, depending on your work. But as long as you're not attached to it, it's not, you don't identify yourself with the money. You just identify yourself with freedom. Freedom that you can have. And when I look at my life since my awakening and now living in the mountains in this beautiful environment, this beautiful home with deer, and I mean, it's like going outside and being Snow White or Cinderella with little birds and rabbits and deer, and it's insane. Whistle while you work. Anyway, when you start first having flashes from meditation, particularly if you found a teacher who can transmit light to you, well, that flash is actually the beginning of what's called a stargate. Because when you begin to have full-on Kundalini experiences, that means that the Kundalini has scrubbed everything clean enough to get to the third eye, and you go through this tunnel and your head is raging, like the sound is so loud. Some people call it the sound of bees, but it's much bigger than that. And you go zoom through it, and then you end up in these different dimensions. And the first time it happened to me, the first one I went through, I could see 360 degrees around me. I could see, it was like I was in the universal lights, but there was sort of different things happening. But the moment I thought, oh my God, I can see everywhere. Shoo, I was straight back into my body. But eventually, after going through that many, many times, I had that flash where you are just, there's no one to witness it anymore, and you have become that. And then because it takes a while for the cells of the body to change. The biology changes. When I went to an immigration I'm an immigration doctor when I first had to get my green card in America. He ended up becoming a student. He said, your blood pressure is so low. You're either nearly dead and you so don't look dead. Or he said, or you meditate. And I said, yeah, obviously it's the meditation. And so we end up having this wonderful conversation. He ended up becoming a student, and I was with him when he left the body, actually. It was a beautiful experience. But basically that is Kundalini, and that is what enlightenment is about. It's deeper than that, but it's nothing to be afraid of. It is the most natural thing. You can do more and have energy and focus and create so many things. Like, that's why Mark said he thought because I was enlightened that I'd probably be like, oh, and don't get me wrong, I am sometimes. Yesterday I had 5 long sessions with Diamond members from the Mystical Experience, and afterwards I was like totally out of my body. But you learn how to cope with it by just eating really good food, exercising regularly, and I would recommend to everybody that they do that. But there is so much love. The thing that I adore about it for everyone is there's no more fear.
Yes, you can do it.